And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski here, along with Karanja Kabage, KK, and Eric Mutua, chairman of the LSK, outgoing chairman. We're going to ask him later on what his plans are for the future, maybe governor of Kitui, but that's another story. In the meantime, tweets coming in very thick, very fast. Let me just read a few, gentlemen. Kenya Boy Choice says, scandal after scandal. Where is Kenya heading? Arafato says, 200 million shilling bribe. Hizo hapana shilingi mbili. Emmanuel Combo says, then all petitions should be reviewed. Every last one in the last election. They're already starting. Oh my goodness, tweets, everybody, they're up in arms. Story of Communication says, Tunoi bribery allegations will hurt those who believe in institutions and turn the 2010 Constitution into a painful stillbirth. Benjin Dolo, thanks for tuning in. You say, I have worked in many areas and interacted in various circles, high and low. I can tell you everything in Kenya is for sale. It is tragic. One more, I like what someone said here. Something to the effect that, you know, the old saying, gentlemen, the old saying that why bribe a lawyer if you could pay a judge? Is that the whole saying?
Yes. Why hire a lawyer when you can pay a judge?
That's what someone's saying right now.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's tragic.
It's very bad.
If at the end of 7 days and they rule exactly what you said and a tribunal is set up and, you know, Tunoi is eventually prosecuted and whatever, will you feel ashamed, Eric? Will you feel ashamed of...
Oh, definitely yes. Definitely yes. I'll be very ashamed if this was to be proved to be true. I don't know. The magnitude of what will be the effect of this being true. It will be fit for generations to come in terms of the judiciary in Kenya. So to answer your question, it is a very shameful thing that when, as Kabage says, when you have a Supreme Court in every country, it is the last hope for a nation, because they believe that if there is any dispute, disagreements in the country, political or otherwise, and the Supreme Court speaks, then every citizen should be comfortable that the decision by the Supreme Court is based on what is good and what is just. But if you have this kind of allegations, then the hope and aspirations of Kenyans will come to shampoo. They'll die. Yes.
And KK, is this the most shameful Supreme Court you've ever seen? Is this a travesty for us?
If the result turns out to be as alleged, I think it will be a very sad moment in the life of our country's history in terms of the judicial arm of our government. And I really hope and I'm praying that the contrary will be true, and what we are seeing actually will be proved otherwise, because we are talking about the core of the nation, and the most critical thing is, instead of people taking arms in a nation, we troop to the court
for dispute resolution,
for settling disputes.
And now we've been let down.
Yes. Now that is very, very crucial. And people, men and women who sit in the judiciary should realize the lives of Kenyans are in their hands. The lives of Kenyans are where? In their own hands. And that is only donated as long as there is trust and confidence that whatever will come out there, me as the accused or me as the accuser will get justice. Now that is very, very crucial.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's switch gears, KK. Let me stick with you. The Eurobond. Last Friday and Saturday, very damning article in the Star by Sarah Elderkin. I'm sure you both read it.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
KK, let me start with you first. Your thoughts on that?
Let me tell you, I was very disturbed by what I read. But I'm very comforted by the fact that subsequent to that, I have read very, very credible information that says this thing called Eurobond it simply doesn't exist. There is no money that was stolen.
There's no $1 billion
There is
missing.
no money that was stolen at all. And I'll tell you what. Having examined documents, I'm saying very credible documents, both from the US, the Treasury. In fact, to the contrary, this country gained $65.4 billion out of that transaction, $1 million out of that transaction. There is no money that has been stolen.
Eric?
I disagree with my learned friend Mr. KK on two fronts. First and foremost, as the Law Society, we are the first persons who question the question of the Eurobond because of the information that we got. And we wrote to the Cabinet Secretary and said, this is our concern. Would you have an explanation? I can tell you that it took 3 months for a response to come to the LSK. And if you read that response, it doesn't say much. Let me tell you this. The only way to clear the question of the Eurobond is for Treasury to tell Kenyans, this is the amount of money which we borrowed, and this money was banked in this account. Paper trail. When it was banked in this account, there is evidence you can see it moved from this account and it was put in this account. Unless you have that paper trail of where the money was banked, how the bank statement, where when it came to Kenya, you can never explain by giving figures and having newspaper notices saying this is what we got.
How come they haven't explained then, Eric? How come they haven't explained?
There's no paper trail. There's no paper trail at all.
I totally disagree with my Rand Senior, and the point is this. I said when I read the article in the, first of all, when I read the article by David D. And it's not one article, I think there were 2 articles. And I read what the former Prime Minister was saying. And I read what that lady wrote. I was very concerned. What did I do? I sought information. I sought what? Information. And today, yesterday, if you looked at the Nation, I think today or yesterday, the central bank was able to rate out exactly what happened. But let me try to explain what I read. First and foremost, the Eurobond is money we Kenyans borrowed, all right, as a board to be able to deal with our developmental challenges. Now, what happened? We had banks like Chase Bank, JP Morgan Chase Bank. And then we had the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
Yes.
All right? Now, the money was being paid to JP Morgan. All right? And then banked at Federal Reserve Bank of New York. All right? Every penny was paid. But there is one thing people should understand, and that is Kenya had borrowed money in 2012, about $604 million. All right? When they borrowed that money, in order for the 2014 board to go through, we had to discount. There was an agreement in the prospectus, because I had to look at the prospectus. There was an agreement that when you get this money of the Eurobond, one of the things you need to do, you have to settle with that debt that is outstanding, and you have to settle with the lawyers, and you have to settle with the banks. All that money had been settled. The balance of it went to the Kenya government central bank account. And mind you, this Federal Reserve Board is the government, the US government board, the US government central bank.
Yes.
All right? The money was banked, and the Central Bank of Kenya here, it paid to the Treasury in Kenya shillings, and the money went to the central bank, to the consolidated bank. All right?
Consolidated
every
fund.
single money, every single shilling went to the central bank, but it came to the Treasury through the central bank, because Treasury does not have an account in the Federal Reserve Bank of New York.
So why they say there's $1 billion missing?
Let me just explain.
Let me just finish, if we want. Okay? And Explanations have been given step by step of what happened. And I can tell you right now, tomorrow there's going to be a debate at the University of Nairobi. And I would like to invite my brother here to come to the University of Nairobi and listen to knowledgeable people who will explain these issues. As of now, I am convinced there isn't a single 1 shilling missing as far as the Eurobond is concerned.
I'm convinced otherwise. This is an issue which is being made complex so that some ulterior motive is achieved. Just ask yourself a very simple question. Borrow 100,000 from X. You want to utilize that 100,000 to towards various projects. You pay interest, you pay other debts, you take to infrastructure. Show us, as in a very simple way, that's the money borrowed, came to this account in graphics. From that account, it was distributed in this manner. It was converted to Kenya shilling, it went here. It was converted to Kenya shillings, it went here. These are the accounts. What the treasury is not doing, and what I think the issue is, it is not able to show exactly from this money which was borrowed, after it went to this account, it went to this account, it came to this account, it went to this account, it was used this way, until the end user. That is not being done.
Hold on.
Have you
think someone has eaten?
Oh, of course, yes. I think so. Yes, of course, yes. There's no doubt in my mind. In the absence of that explanation, in the absence of the paper trail, there's no doubt in my mind.
Okay, without you respecting my Rand council here, I like to say this. Before you can say money is eaten, right? I think it's good to have evidence. I don't think right now, my friend here can say with confidence and certainty, so much money was paid. First of all, this money, when it comes to the National Treasury, it goes to the consolidated fund, right? Mind you, this money was borrowed not for a specific project. It was part of the budget of the country. The money comes to the consolidated fund, and once it comes, it is expended by the various ministries for whatever allocation they have had. Now, why do I take comfort that there is no money that has been stolen? 3 ways. One, I have personally interrogated the document, and I'm satisfied. Documents have. 2, the controller of budget has said there is no money that has been lost. 3, the auditor general has said the same thing. Who are we? Listen, listen. Who are we? All right, non-experts, to say the controller of budget is lying?
So you're saying that Sarah Elderkin was smoke and mirrors, though?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, please.
I don't think it's true that the auditor general and the controller of budgets, they are in agreement. That is not true. Look at the documents which were produced in respect of the Eurobond money. They are contradictory, and you know that. You have looked at those documents. There's a lot of contradiction in the documents itself. In the reports which came out, there's a lot of contradiction.
So I guess that's...
I'm happy. My little friend is saying, this is what happens.
Yeah.
But I want him to say, this is what happened, not what is supposed to happen, but this is what happened.
We'll have to carry that conversation another time. Real quick, we have barely a couple of minutes to go. KK, your thoughts on the worst military disaster since independence? We don't even know how many soldiers were killed in El Ade. We're not being told by the government. We know there was a memorial in Eldoret. We saw it on TV today. Presidents of Kenya, Nigeria, and Somalia attended. But this is worse. If you think about it, it's worse than Westgate and Garissa University combined. Your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, I have no statistics, but let me put it this way. My thoughts go to the men and women of our armed forces that have paid the ultimate price with their lives in protection of our territorial integrity. And I think all of us should sympathize and send our condolences to the families that are involved. Secondly, I want to acknowledge and thank the President of Nigeria and the President of Somalia for their solidarity in coming to mourn with us at this point in time when those that protect our nation have lost their lives. Secondly, let me put it this way. Our country must and always will defend the nation at any cost. And when men and women sign up to be in the security arm of our country, they know that they will pay a very high price. But they pay it on our own behalf. We owe it to them, and we owe it to their families to do whatever it is we can to at least ameliorate the effect of the suffering. And we must therefore provide for the comfort of the families that are left, because they did it on our behalf. The 42 million Kenyans
Absolutely.
that are living today.
Eric.
Of course, I agree. It's very sad that that tragedy occurred. As my learned friend says, I think we must all as a nation stand together and pray for the families, condole with the families, because this kind of an event is quite tragic in the history of our nation. And all we can say is that we stand together, we pray with the families, and hope that in future this kind of event will never occur. And I agree again that we cannot retreat now. We must engage, but at a particular point probably we may want to rethink our strategies. But I think for now, since these are neighbors, we must persevere. We must keep on engaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you both, and you partially answered that question. KK, what about you? Should we retreat? Should we get out of Somalia?
You see, I have said before here that for a nation to be a nation, it must have a defined population. It must have the capacity to maintain law and order. It must have the capacity to honor its international obligations. It must also be able to maintain territorial integrity and defense of our country. Mind you, Kenyans were attacked. We never went on an expeditionary mission to Somalia. Kenyans were attacked despite the incredible sacrifices that we make. We house the largest refugee camp anywhere in the world, particularly in Africa, as far as Somalia is concerned. Our hospitality has been abused, and that is no reason why we should take flight and stop providing the security that we are providing.
Should we pull out, KK? Should we pull out?
I think this is not the moment to do that. I think there may be a review of a situation sometimes to come. But for now, we must close rank as a country and defend the nation based on the fact that we are doing that as part of our obligation to the to our nation, and also as part of honoring the international obligation that we have to provide security of our country and our people.
Eric, we should pull out. We should pull out.
Not now, not at this time round. Because when you pull out because you're weak, we don't have guarantee that our neighbors will not cross the border because we are now weak and we've shown weakness, and continue with their activities. I think it's a question of first engaging, and after some time, then we can rethink the strategy in terms of retreating.
Gentlemen, we're going to end on that note, but let me quote the Iron Lady, Martha Karua. She's just tweeted in saying, "Institutions are as good as the people who run them. A constitution is as good as its implementers." Iron Lady, Martha Karua. Gentlemen, before we go, gentlemen, always give gifts. I like to give gifts.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Whether
very much.
it'll prevent, you can,
Yeah, thank you very much.
you can wipe
Nice.
off the rain from your
Yeah,
jacket.
thank
okay?
you very much.
Thank
KK?
you. Thank you.
Good to see you
Thank you,
guys.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for your time,
Thank
Eric.
you, thank you.
You didn't tell us. Governor Kitui?
I'm thinking, but I'm not sure that I want to go into politics yet.
What a...
And I couldn't agree more with Mara.
My director has said,
Yeah.
umempatia Mutua tumbo moto. Or joto. Thank you very much,
Thank
gentlemen.
you, thank you.
Pleasure having you on.
Yes.
Tomorrow night, right here on JKL, I'm going to have the principals of 3 high schools, Alliance High School, Alliance Girls, and Nairobi School, because this weekend there's a huge meeting in one of the alliances featuring about 2,000 kids talking about the way forward, gentlemen, the way forward for this country, because there was a survey done not too long ago saying young people wouldn't mind getting into corruption to get ahead.
Yes, yeah.
Can you imagine?
I saw that.
Yeah,
We
that's
need
sad.
to turn that around. So we're going to be talking to the principals about what they're doing
Yes.
to turn those young minds around, because after all, that is the future of Kenya. That's tomorrow night, right here on Jeff Koinange Live. In the meantime, keep tweeting at Karanja Kabage, at EK Mutua, at Koinange Jeff. Please use the hashtag Politics101. Thanks so much for joining us right here, Kenya's television network, live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. Good night, good luck, God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.